both Dan Inosanto and Rickson Gracie approach martial arts at first always as a student, and that the art is more powerful than you. It isn't about, I'm going to get this art and show the world. It's the art is what it's all about. And you're just a guy who gets to carry the art, teach the art, and pass on the endless art.
Well, that's the thing that I'm curious about, is because it seems like due to his dominance in competition setting and in the training room, that Rickson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is the jiu-jitsu that like everybody wants a piece of.
Yeah.
And so as somebody going through jiu-jitsu, I'm always kind of like, why isn't that the franchise that is in every single corner of every single place?
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like, I was sort of presuming based on just like martial arts movies, like I kind of feel like the master teacher is always kind of reluctant to take on students from this attitude of that, like the students aren't worthy of his time. That's the story, you know, like in Kill Bill, Pai Mei is
that. And in some ways you're right, but it's not done from a perspective that Rickson's thinking you're not worthy. What it is you're not ready more.
But also, I think that just like kind of relating it to my own experience, I don't know if this is true about Rickson, but just because somebody's good at something doesn't mean they're good at selling it.
Yes.
And if your focus is on staying true to yourself and your principles, you're not always going to be the best salesperson.
You're probably not going to be a good salesperson at all.
The salesperson is the person who's able to sell you this water bottle because isn't this water bottle so amazing? Yeah. And that's like not how Chris and I run our business. No. And I don't believe that's how Rickson ever ran his business.
He never ran it.
His goal was not to be a businessman, but to be a martial artist. And when we put martial artist ahead of business person, we're not as successful in business.
I think that's true.
And branding
of everything. How our human brains work. Like one of the things that I'll use all the time. I'm probably going to make some art person really mad out there. But Andy Warhol is branded into our brains. We all know the Campbell's Soup Cam, Marilyn Monroe, and because it's branded in there, and because it's worth all the kinds of money, we can't help but subconsciously value it more because it becomes valuable. But even Andy Warhol said, I'm a fraud. And it's almost like he postmodern tricked the world into believing stuff that isn't art is art, which is also what the French artist Duchamp did. He took a urinal and signed it, and then that's art. And so it's like it's trying to tell you as an art person that art is all bullshit, but at the same time it's still art, because what you did was you sold people on an idea and you brainwormed into a collective. And I think with the jiu-jitsu, and again, I don't think it's bad that Haueter did such a good job at promoting his family and their jiu-jitsu.
Because that's his strength. Though.
That's his strength.
And we don't all have that. He was gifted in a certain way, and his way more so, like Rickson is gifted in the way of being this warrior, and Haueter was much more good at spreading the brand.
And Haueter was definitely a charismatic, nice guy. But
he had organizational skills, is what you're telling me?
Yes, everything was listed.
A lot of times we don't have organizational skills. So if you don't have someone doing that, then your brand isn't going to blow up. It's not. That's how life works.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure it's in breed, but like Rickson should have, could have, would have been the first UFC guy, but there was a beef with Haueter.
And like it is in breed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And I remember during that period of time, there was a lot of like heated resentment between brothers and cousins. But the one thing they did have is they never talked shit about each other publicly. Like that's it, kind of like that mafia thing. It's like it stays within the family, blood always kind of model. It was interesting. And so Rickson went to Japan. Eric Paulson helped him get into Pride. And of course, he cleaned everyone up. And Eric was training with Rickson then. And for some reason, I think it was because Rickson left to go train or off on one of his things where he's a guru for a while, that Eric Paulson then, I brought him to Machado's. And he hit it off well because the Machado's were so warm and friendly and nice. And I'm not saying Rickson wasn't nice, but Rickson was on a mission.
He's serious.
He's serious, yeah. And so it was, yeah. It's the Rickson that I find now is like the Rickson that has never stopped in growth in body, mind, and spirit. And obviously, people know out there, especially if you breathe, some pretty tragic things happen to him that I can't even imagine. And like, just rough stuff. And so,